Okay, I'm so excited. Hello, I'm Maria Crystene, host of the Awaken podcast, and I just hopped off of an amazing call. Today, I led call number three for this virtual Rise series that I've been doing. The Rise series is for awakened female leaders, helpers, light workers, entrepreneurs, female founders. You find yourself in this calling to fulfill your mission and purpose, especially right now, even though the world feels like a dumpster fire. If you've been feeling that, you are going to want to make sure that you are registered for the Rise series. While we just wrapped up, you can still access all of the replays to Rise and you'll get lifetime access if you join this week. So I want to point that out. And today I'm releasing a sneak peek, a snippet from today's call. You won't want to miss this. I do a card pull. I'm trained. I work with the Akashic Records. I channel with the guardians and guides from the upper realms, and I channeled through a message via a card pull today. You're going to want to see what is that card pull? What is the message? I'm dropping that here on the podcast for everyone to listen to. And then if you want to go deeper, register for Rise, you'll get access to live call 1 and 2, where we really help support reset the nervous system, release fear if you've been feeling just caught up in all the chaos of the last few weeks. If you've been watching this live, or I trust whenever you're watching this, maybe it's been chaotic for you and you want to anchor into your purpose. Don't miss this message. And then if you want access to the full replay, I go deeper into the astrology of the times and how, again, like it's just another reason why we need to double down on our gifts. And then I share at the end as we go into just like anchoring into your purpose. And I share another message from the guardians on you don't want to get stuck in these human traps. There's certain traps that we can get stuck on when we begin to be like, okay, yes, like I'm here on purpose. I'm here for a purpose. There's two traps that we can get stuck in. So I share that message on the full call. If you want the full call and all of the replays, make sure to go to higherselfawakening.com/rise dash series. I'm pretty sure otherwise it'll be in the show notes. Enjoy. Let me know what you think about this episode. So excited to share with you. So all of this, right? You've got the Epstein files over here. You've got what's happening with ICE going on over here. You've got like all these things happening at a global level, and you're wondering how embedded is this system and how much are they just making themselves richer? I mean, like whatever it is you're looking at. It's very easy though when you're by yourself scrolling your phone to the brain wants to be like, how am I going to fix all of this? How am I, one person, meant to handle all this? You're not. You're not. Okay, that's part of, how they want to keep people in fear is, by making we have news at our fingertips. We can get the global news at our fingertips. We know what's going on everywhere. And it feels like you're just being bombarded with problem to fix, problem to fix, this thing I should feel sad about, this thing I should feel outraged about, anger, all that, whatever. And that's where we start to give away our power. And we start like the nervous system starts to feel overwhelmed. And then all of a sudden you just feel like you want to collapse. So I want to acknowledge that's all happening right now by design, right? To collapse us into fear. But now we know about it. We're aware. And so going back to call 1 and 2, that's when we see when we're getting stuck in an overwhelm loop, a stress loop, and we say, hold on a second, I need to take my power back. I need to take my power back. I need to reset my nervous system. I need to release the fear. I need to look at the fear. I need to ask, why is this stuff freaking me out? What's really under all of this? And then you, again, anchor into your purpose. But the other thing is that you remember that you're not doing this alone. Okay, so that's the other thing right now where it's easy to think like, oh, I'm like trying to solve 20 problems by myself. But I need you to remember that as souls, we came here to have a human experience, but to do this work together, like a grid of lights. Not one of us was ever meant to bear it all or to solve it all. And so when I did today's card pull, this was beautiful. Like, I'm like, okay, call number 3. I opened up the records for the session. Okay, so I'm tapping into the Akashic Records, for individually people on the call, but also just for the collective experience that is the Rise series, tapping into the collective high vibrational guides. And so I tapped into that energy. I did the card pull for today. Like, what do you want us to remember? And this is what came through. So They want us to remember, okay, here's the literal card that I pulled today on its guidance, and then it's got the little message on the bottom. You are not alone. You are not alone. You are not solving all of these problems by yourself, let alone the other thing that the guides, so as I have the records open, the other thing that the guides even want to make sure we realize, not only do you like not have to solve it all by yourselves, and if you're seeing every different thing that's getting tilled up right now, all these whatever negative things that are being exposed or whatnot that's coming up, the other thing they want us to know is that not all of these are a problem to solve. Some of it is. Some of it is. Some of the things that you might be seeing in the headlines that you're feeling called to like lean in and being like, I want to hear more. I want to learn more about this. I want to help on this cause and this issue or whatever. So, yes, some of the things we're meant to see because we need to create new systems. We need to create new structure. Like, for example, with the planet and what's happening with the planet. Like, absolutely, we need to know, what companies are dumping what into the environment so that we can begin to create what is the new way. How can we build a better, more environmentally stable practices and whatnot? So, like, I just want to point out some of these things are things that we're going to want to look at and will require solving in community together. But the other thing that they want to point out is that some of the things that we're seeing, not everything is a problem to be solved. It is literally purely just exposing things. It's bringing the dark into the light so that people can witness it, perhaps experience justice, and or so that we know these things can't keep operating in the dark anymore. For the longest time, the paradigm of our ancestors before us has been, if we just don't look at that thing, and people might know that it's going on, but we just don't, and this happens like even in family systems, right? We're seeing this happen on a global stage right now, stuff that's coming up. But I just want to point out how, like, we've all probably been in a family unit, a core family unit, maybe who raised you, a nuclear family, and maybe someone in the family was struggling with alcoholism or addiction or had a mental health issue or whatnot. And whether this was your family or maybe this was even your parents' family. And nobody talked about it. Nobody wanted to bring shame on the family. Nobody wanted to look at it. If we looked at it, well, then maybe that means we'll all get it or whatever it was. Okay, so that was the old way of like, we just don't want to look at it. And if we don't look at it, maybe it'll go away. But it doesn't, right? It doesn't go away. Secrets, shame, just keep reading more secrets and shame. And so, with some of the stuff that we are seeing right now, it's to just remember that maybe it's not a problem to be solved. However, it is something, though, that can't keep existing in the dark anymore. It can't keep just living under the rug. The second you shine lights on it, we begin to expose that. And we begin to, as a society, decide, no, 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 that's not gonna fly anymore. Right? I don't know, they're showing like kind of like a visual of when you shine light on the cockroaches, right? Like if the cockroaches were all in a corner under the cupboards of the kitchen or something and it was dark, but then you shine light on the cockroaches. I don't know why this happened for cockroaches analogy. I hate bugs, but you shine light, cockroaches squirm. They flee. They're like, oh shoot, we can't keep doing this anymore. There's light on it now. And we can't keep doing this. But we as a society and people, the collective, have to say no more. This is not going to fly. This is not how we do things. So just remembering that some things, yes, we're here to solve. Some things are just being exposed to the light. But the message that came through, you are not alone, and you are guided by the masters and teachers of the higher realms. Now, depending where you are on your spiritual journey, I suspect that if you're on this call today, you either already know about the upper realms, the higher realms. You're maybe already tapped into your intuition. I also suspect some might be on this call and you've maybe just like started dabbling in this journey. You maybe have sense that you have intuition. You maybe sense that there are greater things at play and that there is a universe, a God, source, however you maybe want to identify with that. So wherever you are on that journey, the card for today was this reminder that you're not alone, not only in a human sense, because we're in this together as a community, but it's to re-anchor you back because the guardians of the records, and so when I say the guardians of the records, I just mean the guides, the high vibrational guides, the angels, the galactic beings, the elementals, all the guides from the high vibrations that want to come through today for today's call. The guardians of the records want to remind us of their presence, that they are here, that they are with us, because when chaos is happening, and we've seen this play out on a global level, collective level, but even on a personal level, we can see this where when someone dies, when something tragic happens, it's normal for the human self, the ego self, to say, there must be no God. There must be no God. If there's this level of evil, there can't be God, or God has abandoned us. Yes, yes. Like, I just want to point out that those are realistic thoughts to have. And it doesn't matter how tapped into soul and intuition you are. I just want to normalize that experience that you can be very tapped into soul and source and your own intuitive spiritual practices already. And I want to acknowledge it's a human experience, it's a human part of the self to be like, WTF, God, or source, or however you identify with that. And so they just want to remind us that they have not left. They are here. And again, we came here for a time such as this. We came here for a time such as this to stand here together, to bear witness, and to double down and triple down on our soul mission and our soul purpose.